It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you'd put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5,
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
It's his birthday, so I hate to cut him off. But welcome back to the Resupply with me, guy next door.
Me, Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, DK.
And me, Than.
Bringing you your uncensored double tap
Ish.
of all things Space Marines and Laser Force.
Not for long. Let's get canceled.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got some energy today. First things first. Massive happy birthday to you, my friend. It's DK's birthday. You're how old?
41.
Doxed.
41 and having fun.
I mean, not gonna lie, thought you were older. But
Yeah. Once
yeah.
again, fuck you, man.
You know
Ooh.
what? I'm just happy that somebody else is catching strays that normally come for me. So for once, DK, you
There's a
can
lot
catch
of
it.
show left. There's a lot of show left.
I'm aware, but at the very least, we're starting the show with you catching the strays and not me.
Yeah, all right, that's fair.
I'm fully aware that it's gonna hit me later. Like there's gonna be some ricochet, there's gonna be some boomerang. It's gonna come back around. It's gonna be fine. But for right now, fuck you and your oldness.
I have a feeling,
Exactly.
just quietly, that maybe there's a little bit of money laundering going on here.
The smallest possible quantity of money laundering. Come and get me. Come and get me, IRS. I dare you. Let's see how many government agencies we can piss off today.
No. You can't bloody say that in the airport.
Well, we're not in an airport, so
True. So yeah, happy birthday to you, my friend. I'm glad that you've decided to come and hang out with us on your birthday. That's very nice of you.
Hey, I love just sitting in my room on my birthday and being self-reflective. So this is just probably the best fit for me anyway. Like, I don't know. The birthday blues are like a real thing. And there's a whole like, I know I'm not alone. There's like a whole category of people who just like don't really care about their birthday or actively like resist celebrating it. And like, for me, the most cringe thing in life is fucking going to a restaurant, having somebody announce that it's your birthday and having the fucking wait staff come out and sing to you. Like literally is like the most mortifying thing in the universe. It lasts probably all of 10 seconds of your life. It feels like 2 hours, bro. It is the worst. I hate it so much. Like I went out with my family to lunch today. I talked them into lunch instead of dinner. Yeah. Because I didn't want to go out on a fucking Friday night for that shit. And like had to tell my parents like 3 times, like, please do not mention to the wait staff it is my birthday. And they respected it, so I give them props for that. But I'm just like, God, I fucking hate that shit.
61 months. Holy shit, Ducky. Thank you. Hype train. Birthday hype train. Let's go. Celebrate DK's birthday by putting some cash into this guy's pocket. It's funny because Frosthammer, you were exactly who I thought of when DK said people who actively resist their birthdays. That's you. But yeah, I figure, you know, like if you're gonna just hang out in your room self-reflecting, you might as well invite the wider Laser Force community with you. So huzzah.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
It's like 90% of the people that I actually care about in the world. So, you know.
Yeah. About like
I'm cool with that.
About an hour ago, I was at my computer and I was like, I wonder if I should like do. I was real tempted to do a spoof "This Is Your Life" kind of birthday video for you. So whilst we're here, let me just change. No. I knew
starts playing Green Day and showing like pictures of 19-year-old me at a tournament.
Yeah, it made me think of, you know, Arrested Development where they had the Desies and it had the guy, the memorandum for the yeah, I was gonna make that, but with your face. But I didn't because lazy. So we just talked about it instead, which is kind of achieved the same.
It's pretty much the same thing. Now you get to imagine your own version of it in your head. That's probably gonna be better than what we would have come up with anyway.
100%. Real quick, fuck Duolingo.
Okay. Why
got all kinds of people catching strays today.
Yeah. Why are we telling the owl to go fuck himself? Like, what's the...
So we've been learning Japanese now for, I think the streak's up to almost 170 days. So, you know, I basically speak Japanese now fluently. And
works.
So
you're turning Japanese, okay?
He's
really turning Japanese.
Very good. I really think so. So they've introduced this thing called the battery, and it basically, I was thinking about it because I didn't know what it was, because we've been just doing the greater gaslighting. It's introduced a paywall into the ability for me to learn Japanese.
And shitification. Hold on.
Dude, I was like, are you fucking serious? Like your whole purpose for being an app, and I can deal with all the ads, but your whole purpose is to help me learn Japanese. And when you put up a paywall for me to be able to do that, like either make me watch ads or make me pay. Choose a lane. Don't make me do both, you fucks.
Exactly what we were saying for the show. Yep.
Yeah.
And that goes for all you companies out there.
Not Prime, though. We love you, Bezos.
No, we don't.
I could skip the $5 a month if you wouldn't make me watch a fucking ad before I turn on the fucking show anyway.
Yeah, that's some white people problems. But like, I don't know, dude. Like, it made me so angry because it was the first time it happened yesterday because I tried to do more than one lesson. And it was like, oh, you've run out of battery power. Subscribe to get more. And I was like, you can suck a dick, Al. Not Night Owl. We love you, Al. But
that guy's cool.
That guy's cool.
Duolingo Al.
Not so much.
Made me so mad.
So basically, they've gone the Candy Crush model. That's
I can't wait until I'm gonna have to like watch a fucking ad on my microwave before I heat up my food. Like that's like the fucking direction we're going.
In all seriousness about that, like there was something I saw yesterday about like the Samsung smart TVs that have screens on them have started having ads served to them now.
Perfect.
Like that is like the latest thing is that if you have a smart TV that's a Samsung that has a screen, yeah, you're getting ads on your fucking fridge now. Cool.
Yeah.
So on the fridge model, when you were like TV, I'm just like, what do you mean? Of course there's ads. It's a TV. But you meant the fridge screen.
Yeah, okay, the fridge screen. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, that was the most predictable enshittification ever.
Try a new Ice Cube Plus now with 50% more ice. Yeah, shit like that.
And literally, we were watching an ad like on fucking Prime, watching a show. They were advertising something that now they had a little thing in the corner where you can just add it to your Amazon cart. This was for like a $2,800 generator. They were advertising. I'm just like, fucking 2-button misclick could fucking cost me $3,000 right here. What the fuck are we doing?
What did we watch this month? What kind of pornos was that?
I mean, I know that we're expecting the fucking whole grid to go down any second here in the U.S. and for us just to be shooting each other over a carton of bread, but Jesus, you don't need to like bring it directly into my living room all the time. Like, by the way, you're going to need a generator.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for this revolution to be sponsored by Coke Zero.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be like the Troubles in Ireland, except it'll be like between Coke and Pepsi. Will be like advertising for the various factions. Like that's the kind of dystopian universe that we're gonna live.
Yeah. That'd be like double the hate, none of the sugar. Yeah, can't wait. It's gonna be sick. So yeah, that's the kind of mood we're in today, folks. So strap in. It's gonna be a good one.
Strap in as opposed to strap on, I guess.
Yeah, and another no. Got to play a little bit of laser tag this week. We had a lot of people away sick, which was a shame. But I did the numbers. We've got some good base numbers. You always want good base numbers for your site, and I refer to base numbers for anyone that doesn't know as people who you can count on most of the time to be there. And I think our base number is probably at like maybe 11 or 12 at this point.
If you can get to 12, that's good.
That's perfect. That's where you want to be.
I mean, anytime you started hitting double digits as your base number, like the minute you kind of get to 10,
maybe
like
it's 10.
That, like,
maybe it is
like,
10.
Well, 10 kind of is the point at which it can kind of gets a little more rolling because.
Yeah, because you'll get a couple other people who come every week.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 10 is good.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah. And part of it is because we've got Sneak and his son and son's friend coming on the more or less regular. That being said, we had 6 this week, but there were a lot of people away sick, which was unfortunate. But it's promising, It means that there are. You can count on playing basically every week, which is the key thing. You don't have to do all right, how many numbers have we got this week? So that's a real benefit. I think. And then
finding out it's like, oh, there's only 4 people who can make it. Well,
Yeah.
No, that's awesome though. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, real cool. I do want to also shout out. I want to shout out ownership. For the amount of work that they're doing at site, and I think that the subscription model that just talking about subscriptions, but the subscription model that they've gone down is actually quite a real benefit because it means that like even if the numbers are real low, you can still play with 6. You could like play for an hour or so and be like, all right, I mean, if we're having a bunch of fun, cool, we'll just play the whole time. If we're not, oh well, like we played a few games, we had like 3 or 4 laser balls, we're ready to call it a night, let's go. So it means that there's value in those nights where there are less of us playing because you can still play without having to pay the full price session. So
I think I remember you mentioning that they were going to do that, but like so what's it ended up being? Because I don't think you've ever given us like the details
totals?
of of what's happened with it.
So I can't remember the total amount. I think it's 65 a month, and that allows you to play whenever you want during the month. It's essentially unlimited laser tag for a month. It's excellent value, and it surprises me actually that more of the regulars haven't subscribed to the model. I think they really should. There's still a few people who are like, well, I might not come every week. It's like, so? Like,
yeah. If anything, that would probably encourage me to come out more regularly on like a Friday night or a Saturday night to do like lunacy events or whatever, and then actively, maybe try to talk to some other people, network a little bit, pull other people in, because it's not going to cost me anything beyond what I would have spent playing weekly anyway. Then why wouldn't I?
And you're right.
Encourage you to get your money's worth.
100%. And the alternative to that is you're not, as a business, you're not capturing that business probably anyway. Because I don't go play at Lunacy Nights because I get my fix on a Tuesday, and I don't know. There's no value. I don't think. Well, there's a little bit of value in going to play with the public, but that's a young man's game.
You know how many labels I had to put on fucking mail out calendars back in the day just to grind my way to getting like 2-3 games on a fucking Thursday afternoon?
I actually do because I would make you do that, so I didn't have to. Yeah, exactly. So yes, no, I do remember how much you had to grind.
That's
to do
so
that.
smart, though.
Literally like subcontracting his menial work to me in exchange for free games.
Dude, that's so smart. I can't believe. That's essentially early AI models, because now a bunch of people are subtracting their work out to ChatGPT. But it's exceptional value for us as members.
For sure.
And I think the more people you can capture with that, the more beneficial it's going to be, because there's the trade-off, right? Like if you miss a week, it's only really still costing you what you probably were going to spend that month anyway. So and on the flip side for the business, it's guaranteed revenue every month. This month it's revenue that's always going to come in. So
because what will you guys pay for doing
$20 a session?
So $20. So that's already cheaper than if you play every week. If you play, assuming that there's 4 Mondays in a month, we'll say for sake of argument, you're saving $15 by doing that. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly right.
And then really the facility is probably going to capture that extra $15 anyway from you, because you're going to buy a soda, you're going to buy a candy bar, you're going to play some video games, you're going to do this, you're going to like
that's true.
There's very much the ancillary revenue argument around a subscription model like that. No, that's awesome. What's funny is I remember TK, remember Klepto from Vegas?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So way back when Vegas still had an actual force, he had actually mentioned the subscription model thing as a thing then. So we're talking early 2000s here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And at the time, I definitely remember my reaction to it was I don't see that working. But part of the reason I didn't see it working at the time, because there's really no good way to track it and lock it, if that makes sense. Now that
we live in a fucking surveillance state, you can do whatever you want.
Well, it's more the okay, you've got the cards with the RFID ID cards hooked to the system, hooked to the laser tag, hooked to being able to validate whether or not somebody has or hasn't paid. And that was always kind of my concern with it, was that
it would have required more bookkeeping than you're probably going to trust the 16-year-olds who work there to do.
Correct, because there was no link between the point of sale system and tag. Well, now you can link point of sale and tag and have that in, and so if somebody hasn't paid their subscription fee for the month or whatever, and they go to swipe, it'll be like, nah, you can't do that, go pay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one of the few times where a subscription model seems like it's actually, a net positive for a thing instead
Yeah.
of, just a more enshittification of the internet.
Man, our podcast is so good. We're giving so much like free good business advice right now. I mean, site owners really should be subsidizing us.
I think one step that maybe is that needs to be added in is I don't know, like if you're going to undertake the model, I think that you need to get people to sign up for, you treat membership and subscription as two different vernaculars. So membership is signing up an account. You have the ability to track all your data. You can still choose to play, pay per session or whatever it is. And the reason why that's important is because you then, once you've got them hooked up on the system, then you sell them a subscription. So I think pushing that first and then pushing the sub, because you're like, well, you come in here at least once a week at the moment. Why don't you join the subscription model? And then,
and you could even like say, if you're buying your first subscription, like if you don't have a membership, then the membership's included in like the first month or whatever, if you want to do that to like add an extra
so you give an
option,
option.
or you get a discount on it if you buy both, or I don't know, whatever
it is. But you kind of want them to sign up first and then do the sub. And then also what that does from a like a player perspective is, so one of the big things that obviously we have come across with members in the early stages of playing is they play a lot of game against the public, and when you give them a membership, eventually they're going to level up, and then the handicap system kicks in. So if you
working as intended, not a bug.
Exactly right. And so what has happened in the past is a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to keep playing under my suit because the game's become harder. My scores aren't as good as when I go in and I smash the shit out of everyone.
But if you're not playing under your membership, you can't use your subscription.
Exactly right.
Benefits.
So it kind of ties that up as well. So I think if
also,
you combine
don't be a dick, get good.
Valid. Also valid.
I had a little bit of an ego tester this week. Was it this week? It might have been this week. We had our 6 people, but up until for the first hour there was a scout group there, and there would have been, I don't know, 70 people in there. And there was a handful that were pretty good tag players. So we're like, hey, like we play every week. Why don't you come on a Tuesday? And they were asking around like, oh, you get to keep your stats and stuff. That's really cool. And I had to check my ego a little bit because I had one dude do the whole, I smashed him. He's a regular. I smashed him. Look at him. He came 6th because I came 6th. And I really had to bite my tongue and be like,
oh my God. Oh, the scandal.
But I didn't want to.
You're off the pod, Steve.
I didn't want to do the, the thing that's so easy to do, and that's there's a handicap, and so I don't want to do that because that drives.
Or, like you guys really think I was going 100% in that game? Okay.
I mean, like I can't at the moment anyway, but still, like I tried. You can't not try, but it was very frustrating, especially when there's that element of smugness. But you just have to, you kind of have to eat it as a vet. Be like, no, you don't have to
respond to it.
Prove,
you don't have to respond to
exactly. Like no one cares.
It's like at this point, really, in all of our playing careers, do any of us really have anything that we have to prove to anybody? Not really.
If I had a home site, I'd move my trophy case over there and just point to that. If people started to like talking shit, I'd be like,
I think it's more of a, like, I forget that the correct response to that is, yeah, dude, you played awesome. Why didn't you come on the regular? That'd be awesome. It'd be cool to see you again. That's the correct response, but that's not the one that like enters your mind when someone's like, haha, you did dumb. You're like, no, I didn't. So I don't know. It's a tough one to balance. But I think Auckland ownership are doing it right. I think they're on to something that could turn into something pretty excellent. So
That's fucking great. Like,
I like the idea. I'd buy one.
Yeah.
Anything that that encourages a lot of repeat play and just encourages people to come back because it's a thing that we've already got. We may as well go and do it more. Like, that's always been like the really tricky thing of getting people back and getting them to incrementally spend more money.
Yeah.
It also allows like a different kind of set of marketing goals out there as well, because like you can kind of sort of pitch it at the fitness set as well, that it's like, okay, well, for less than the cost of a gym membership, you come here and you can still track stuff like how many steps you took. Look, you can run a marathon over the course of a month. Are you training for this or that? Like, there are all these metrics that you can add onto it too. So like,
which they really need to capture in the Laser Force data. They really need to utilize that better. This drives me crazy they haven't.
Yeah, I want my calories and my blood glucose level added to that too. I don't care if the trigger has a little pinprick. I put on
every
my
time
finger.
you put, I got 10,000 points and I also have diabetes.
Yeah, and you have to watch a 15-second unskippable ad before you can drop a nuke.
Yeah, exactly right.
If that happened during Space Marines, I would fucking lose it. I would just like, the whole system must burn now.
We joked in the past. You can you're trying to drop a nuke. Well, you can either watch this ad or you can pay $1.99. Oh yeah, the future is here, folks.
Oh God.
All right. We gave you a lot of free business advice, Laser Force, but if you follow that one, I will punch you in the head.
5J's from Rusty? Yeah, dude works in finance. He's gonna be
He's just
already
gonna pay
yeah. Be like, take these nukes. Yeah, get a paywall after you drop your third one.
Like, all right, that's enough for me.
Yeah, you reach your nuke limit for the day.
You need to
recharge
your battery.
Yes, no.
Do you want to go on a trial basis? Fuck. Yeah. But yeah, it's exciting. It's great to see like the work they're doing. They've got a pool table in there now. They've got a karaoke room in the back area that was the reclaimed party room. There's a big old pool table in there now. Yeah. I haven't used it, but I mean, maybe I should. Yeah, it's cool. There's some stuff that's coming, and already with the karaoke booth, like myself and one of our players, Artemis, we went in there and had a jam last week, and she was just like, man, this is so cool. Like I would come down here in the weekend and hang out with my friends here now, not just for laser tag, but come down and, you go and you play some tag, you come out, you do a round of karaoke, you go back in, you get a feed, like whatever it is. Like, yeah, it's really cool. Anywho,
make room for all this. You guys have to buy out that furniture store next to you just to make room for all these extra amenities.
Oh, dude, it'd be the fucking best. I mean, the last owners saw it, like, did consider it. They consider it just before COVID, I think.
Yeah.
Dolly,
wow, I didn't pull that
49 months. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for your birthday messages for DK. It's his birthday. Happy birthday.
Thanks, Dolly. 49 months. Why would you subscribe 49 months? You don't even play laser tag, man.
Because she's a legend. That's why.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Money laundering again. I thought that we were clear about this. There's money.
What does Dolly have? That's not money laundering. They're just giving your friends some money.
That's the pyramid scheme that I've also got cooking, which we didn't launder them. Yeah.
Okay. It's more of a pyramid scheme than it is money laundering.
Yeah. It's both.
Little column A, little column B. There's a Venn diagram. There's some overlap in the middle. It's fine.
Yeah. I've got to find somewhere to park all that cash. That's right here, baby. Right here on the Resupply channel. Right. Shall we talk about? I want to talk about me just for a change.
That's definitely different. Go ahead.
You were on that other show.
That other one.
That we don't talk about.
Some would say better. Not me. I wouldn't say better.
I would say
show that we never talk about, that we always talk about.
I would say it's certainly more unprofessional looking for sure.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes.
Generally. Yeah.
Although they gotta, I hope that they've finally decided to just keep a name and stick with it, because I can't handle any more YouTube channel name changes from Force Pro Sports as they're now going.
FPS, baby. FPS. So yeah, I was on Luke's show this week. Off the back of he messaged me, I think the start of the week. No. It was after we did our last show, which obviously was a couple of weeks ago now.
That's like 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah. Yeah, he messaged me just saying, hey, look, some of the comments you made got me thinking, would you want to come on and like talk more about some stuff? And I was like, yeah, for sure. I like to talk. So I jumped on this week. And he was like, look, I'm going to record a podcast first, and I'm going to maybe you should have a watch of that, and then we'll talk more in depth about it. And essentially it was a show around eligibility and stuff for Space Marines tournaments, which is a I don't know, it's a topic that I don't know, it's been an ongoing discussion, I think, for many years, but maybe in the last couple it's really ramped up. And I think that's off the back of like travel restrictions, making it harder for players to kind of travel between, Australasia and the US. And will probably be an important thing to kind of have figured out going forward as we try and reach out further into Europe and try and bridge the gap there. So did you guys I mean, we don't have to talk massively in depth about it, but I know you guys had some comments you wanted to share, or DK, you did.
I watched both the original video that Luke posted, and I watched the one with you and Luke talking about it. Came out today, and I did watch it as part of my show notes for this week, because I want to stay hip and caught up on all of the Laser Force media that's out there. So that involves watching all of maybe like 1.5 podcasts every week for my media research.
You say hip, and I mean, you definitely a young 41-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How do you do, fellow kids?
What's up, dudes?
And yeah, I don't really feel like I need to add a lot, because I would say that I agreed with 99% of what you said on Luke's pod. So I am fine endorsing that as the official position of the Resupply podcast, that yes, in general, like, we stand site representation, and that should be the goal. Like, really the only, I don't really think there has been that much controversy, other than an instance that you mentioned from Detroit in 2019, where I didn't necessarily agree with that kind of recruiting call, and what I thought was actually a more egregious one that happened in 2015. But spilled milk under the bridge, so to speak. Basically, it was another situation.
Chocolate factory.
I mean, it was another situation where Brisbane was not coming with a full team. So, I mean, that was somewhat analogous to what happened in 2019.
Yeah.
But because in 2019, they pulled Kodama. The only corrective I would offer to that kind of record is that Kodama was definitely a good player in 2019. He was not an S-tier player in 2019. Like, he would not have, I don't think, been considered in definitely not in the top 5, and probably not in the top 10 in the US
no, but
at
still,
that particular time. But still was a very good player.
Yeah.
But there were only 2 Chula Vista players who came to the tournament at all. It was just Kodama and Applesauce.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were being pulled off of a Chula Vista team or something like that. So
True.
Was it the rich getting richer? Yes, I think it was. Was what happened in finals something that shouldn't have happened? No, it shouldn't have happened.
That was my issue with it.
That was not handled well. But what I felt was a more egregious episode in 2015 was that they actually poached Yama from the Sacramento team. And like, I mean, I know I've had my issues in the past, but like, he was still a very good player, and probably would have been like our 3rd best player on that team theoretically, and went and played with the Brisbane guys because he wanted to hang out with Rusty and Fredo all week, which I'm just like, okay, I'm sympathetic to that, but like, that's not how this is supposed to work. Like, specifically, the rules were instituted the way they were so that teams would not do that by poaching good talent from other teams.
Yeah.
So it went not only against the letter, but also the spirit of the law. So that I was not cool with at the time. And I mean, again, whatever, it's something that happened in the past. We're not going to repeat it. But in a lot of other instances, like we talked about, teams going overseas, and their construction rules were always less strict for that. And that basically all parties agreed to that. going in. So it's not like there was like, oh, well, you made exceptions this year and this year and this year and this year. It's like it was all talked about in advance. And like the only other point that I would definitely dissent from, so I said I agree with you 99%. The only part that I vehemently disagreed with was talking about whoever is serving on the committee, which I'm not on it at the moment. I've ceded that to other people from California because I think they're more in touch with the community. But whatever conversation is happening with committee, those don't need to be public, and they should not be public. Like there needs to be a sense in which people are more free to speak and potentially like hurt people's feelings or come off as hurting people's feelings, whether that's intentional or not. Like I agree, like having some transparency around this is what we've talked about. If you have input for your rep, please talk to them about this particular topic.
Yeah.
But in terms of like actual deliberations of what's going to happen with site eligibility or tournament organization or how it should be constructed, like I think there needs to be a certain sense to protect the collegiality among members of the committee that you can't have all that shit aired in public.
I don't know,
man. Even if you have a Discord that's set up where other people can't comment, but they can view,
they'll still know.
But it's so easy for things to either be taken out of context or for somebody to say something that might not even offend somebody, but might risk offending somebody because they don't know them very well, or talking about somebody, who doesn't happen to be serving on the committee, or you have other issues that really do require discretion because it's something that should not be for public consumption. Like there definitely, I think, needs to be a level of secrecy there, but that's a separate.
So I think I flip-flopped a couple times during that chat. As initially, I was like, I don't think it needs to be public. We just had the minutes, and then I think Luke had said about well, what if you can view all that conversation but not comment on it? I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then I think I flipped back and was like, oh, well, maybe we go back to the minutes. I think having transparency.
And you guys were talking off the cuff. I know this wasn't like this is my argument for why this should be the case. Like A, B, and C.
But I think there needs to, because there's the ongoing joke for years has been there's the shadowy organization of the Laser Force Tournament Committee, because really we haven't.
The shadowy organization is me and DK a lot of the times. And Beans.
I mean, it's more, but among people who are regulars, it's like you, me, Beans.
Because we hadn't formalized anything. There was no. I think we look at like how society, Beans. I think we look at how societies have their management structures, done right, and then you model like. I think we're at a point now where maybe we model our tournament committee like how a committee should be, and we formalize some of this stuff so we can actually ratify a bunch of stuff into the rule set, because at the moment it's still like maybe things are slightly changing, and I know that there is discussions going on because again I've ceded for the moment I've ceded my involvement in like organizing stuff and I think like if you have some formalization in place, then it makes your scene a little more credible, a little more structured, which is an important thing. So that things like, poaching a player from a site that is already attending, you poach one of their top players, stuff like that doesn't go either unpunished or like gets squashed before it can be a thing, right? I don't know. Yeah.
And well, to be perfectly honest, there were discussions among committee members in the run up to the previous tournament. And here again, I will just protect people's identities because it doesn't mean the public consumption, but there was a discussion about whether or not a player should be allowed to play for a certain team, even though they were out of region, even though they had already, agreed not to play on this other team. And basically that did kind of get squashed. They're like, good. No, look, we had this kind of structure that was in place. This is what we agreed by. This doesn't seem like a fair move. Like we made some exceptions in one situation that wasn't going to decrease total number of players, but in another case, like that seems like it's too far. So it was handled again in a spirit of collegiality and people just talking through the problem, which is a lot easier when you have just a small number of people, a representative from each site, rather than having the entire community then come in and bring up past grievances from 5 years ago of, well, how come you're allowing this, but I wasn't allowed to do X, Y, or Z, and this other player wasn't allowed to do that. It's like the context was probably different. Like nobody is 100% consistent. I'm sure I haven't been, and I've made exceptions in some situations where I wouldn't in others. We're all human. Like those kinds of mistakes get made. But in other cases, like you do have to consider the context, and sometimes the context is complex because what applied to this player doesn't apply to this other player. And like as long as you approach it in the spirit of not total transparency to the community, but transparency to the rest of the committee, I think like that's the kind of thing they need to sort through. It's the same reason why, like I've made the case before, that I don't think there should be a set number of penalties after which they start getting deducted for points, because it just misplaces it displaces the problem and just moves it a little bit further down the road. But it still promotes argumentation of the rules and all that kind of stuff as well. So right, for that same reason, like I think it's better to like keep to the general guidelines we've established, but allow for discussion to happen of, look, every situation is going to be a little bit different. Like we want to have guidelines, we want to have some rules, but we don't want to lock ourselves into a situation where we know like, yes, this will be the standards that will stand for all time, because there's basically no rule in any system anywhere that is written such that, right, there's not going to be some weird situation that comes up later on down the line and it's like, oh, that's not what we intended to happen, but we didn't foresee that at the time. Like those are like that's why you have courts of law and all kinds of shit, right? Like you need to parse through that stuff.
Yeah. And I mean that's why the unsportsmanlike rule is written the way it is. It's written as a catch-all for like everything that we don't necessarily have spelled out in the
Somebody might do something shitty that we didn't foresee, so we need to be able to punish them.
Yeah, exactly. And with the sites kind of as they currently stand, and like I talked about it, like these rules are put in place to you said it, I thought it. The rules are put in place to promote growth within the site, like to promote growth with sites, so they keep coming back. So you know, like we're in that situation. So distracting. We're in that situation now where we haven't been before, which is where we have a large player contingent that don't have sites, and we need to create, you know, we need to create something to kind of catch that stuff. Because what I don't want to have happen, because at the moment, like I can't remember if I said it earlier in this show or because I said it a bunch over the last couple of days, is the eligibility criteria currently means that you are both technically Utah players. You're both eligible to play for St. George.
Right. And just to add like some context to how that discussion happened in 2021 specifically, because it was after 2019, Sacramento closed, Chula Vista closed. There wasn't kind of a clear situation. It didn't seem like either team was going to be able to, or either site was going to be able to come up with a full six.
Yeah.
And we were talking about doing some events in late 2020 and then in 2021. And like, how is that going to work? And like, I will just be honest, I saw that situation developing where it's like, by the letter of the law, you could make the case that, well, we're all St. George players. That is the closest active site to which we all live. But we all know, like, that's not the spirit under which the rules operated.
Yeah.
So I propose that, look, we just make a particular, we don't even have to make it an addendum to the rules, but just a rule we agree to as a committee that where California players can form a team with each other, they have to try to represent California as a whole first. And if you don't have enough, then you bring in Mercs, or you put yourself in the Merc market, or whatever you guys were talking about.
The meat market?
But otherwise, right, that could really undercut the ability of St. George to raise up some of their talent.
100%.
It's like, okay, well, yeah, but every year you're going to be competing for a spot with, you know, not just the good players here, Snuffles and your Thunders and your Calebs and people like that, but also DK and Odin and Kodama and Nolan and Apples and like all these other really good California players where they could make their own team by themselves. So like I know like Luke wasn't trying to like get on us for being like, oh well, you guys just made a super team a different way, but to like kind of like push back against that idea. It was not designed to try to make California stronger. It was designed to prevent the kind of poaching that could happen if it's like, well, are California players just free agents? Like anybody can just take them, anybody can grab them. Can Utah just take them at will? It's like, let's try to prevent that from happening somewhere down the road by just saying, look, we have enough California players that we have a community of players that we could probably form one, even two teams from. Like California sent 2 teams to Colorado in 2024. So like there's still enough people who play but that's basically it. Like our ability to recruit new players is very, very low. Like they've gotten a few of the invasion players and kind of peeled them off. You've got your Ender, your Hallange, and your Ebo Mike and people like that. And I'm glad that we're starting to like get them into the tournament community as well. But like there's no real opportunity for development. So it's like, it sucks. Yeah. Like, it sucks you had to go against 6 very good California players, but yeah, we hadn't played with each other and we weren't playing on a weekly basis. Like the ability to play on a weekly basis is weirdly like underrated now.
Bro, it's massive.
As far as like people's prep for tournament goes. Because it's like people just kind of assume that it's like, well, these players are really good at laser tag.
Muscle memory. It's just muscle memory.
It's muscle memory. And like the fact is like, yeah, you're probably going to be good because a lot of those instincts don't go away. It is muscle memory, like you said. But you're still not going to be as good as if you were playing on a weekly basis.
Yep.
Yeah, you still have to chill. You still have to like have your reps and you have to have those specific types of movements down. Because both Van and I can tell you there are some things you do in laser tag you don't do on an ordinary basis. And those muscles have a way of letting you know that you have not used them in a while.
Yeah.
100% yes. Jesus. Yeah. 100% yes.
That was part of our issue when we hosted in 23 was we didn't get to play on the regular and it really affected our performance at Nats. And like, you get we were the home side, but we didn't, I don't think we necessarily had the proper home team advantage because we played about the same amount as every other team in the lead up. And like players like from Brisbane have played there a bunch before. So I mean, excuses, whatever, but that's the reality of the situation.
I mean, that did suck for you guys because you legitimately were like shut out because of repairs and stuff that had to be done after floods and all that. So, right, like that's a legit thing. That wasn't just, people weren't turning up to practice.
Yeah, no, we
like,
closed.
You literally couldn't.
For 6 months. Well, not 6 months, not quite 6 months, but basically 6 months.
If you had the ability to play every week and you chose not to do it, like it's like, that's
on you. You were lazy or, you didn't prepare properly. So,
but it's no joke to say that probably US West had more practice together as a team than you guys did in the probably, let's just say 6 months before the tournament. Maybe not in the last month before the tournament. You guys were playing a bit more.
A little bit,
we didn't play together on a weekly basis, but like we had the chance to do that. And like that's another thing that I feel like could get kind of lost in a sort of revisionist history where, again, I'm biased. Maybe I'm just trying to defend myself in this kind of scenario, but it's like, I think as time goes on, people will look back and say, oh, well, how come the California people weren't like forced to play together for that tournament? Like you had 6 California people, they should have been on one team.
Probably.
But it was like but that's a thing that's in hindsight. Like literally nobody was talking about that.
Correct. Yeah.
And as from what I recall, like Nolan and Erwin were kind of like later additions. Like essentially we already had a team and a half that was built and then they said they were going. From my recollection, I could be wrong on that. So as hindsight goes on, like should we have done that differently? No, we don't know. Maybe, possibly, maybe, but again,
within the context,
nobody was thinking about that at the time. Like we were still coming out of COVID. There was like 0% chance it seemed like that any one site was going to be able to send a full 6.
Yeah.
So basically, the compromise was, well, let's try to do regional first. Yeah. And then like some East Coast people dropped out. Like Scythe and Baden were supposed to go and they didn't. So it was like the US East team still had a lot of people from the West on it, but that wasn't the thinking from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, and the revisionist history thing can be done in a lot of cases. Like, again, you look at that Brisbane team that took Yama. Should that have been allowed to happen? No. Should Baden had been allowed to play with the Brisbane team for so many years? No. It is what it is.
What I'm getting from this is Brisbane is the problem.
Yeah, we're not jealous.
Guess what? I like championship trophies too.
So probably like there's the other thing. So I forget that there are a few players. So like Odin's Fist, for instance, didn't have thousands of games at Sacramento, and probably at this point has more games in Loveland.
Yes.
Yeah. So now
100%.
What I would hate to have happen, and this isn't a dig against Odin's Fist because I love them. They're great. Shout out Hefty Doug. But what I would hate to see happen is Odin's Fist is now eligible to play for a Loveland team, and they recruit Odin's Fist to play instead of a local Lovelander, because Loveland is one of the sites that is currently more or less thriving with members. So their focus, the same with Auckland, because our focus has more or less always been send an Auckland team where we can. If we can send an Auckland team, we will. Regardless of skill in some instances, which is always a real hard decision to make. But sometimes, it's just the decision you have to make.
Yep.
But I would hate to see a up and coming player get dropped from an A team or whatever the case is, and they might be focusing on different team creation this year, but sorry, possibly. For next year. Yeah. But I would hate to see someone lose a spot because Odin's Fist is technically eligible, but Odin's Fist isn't playing on the regular. And
that's clearly not what the spirit of the rules is.
That's right.
Because we're still close enough to when the document was written that we can say very concretely, like, look, here's how it was. Because there really was not nearly as much cross-site play back in the day as there was now. You got together maybe once a year.
Yeah.
And that might be the only time you talked to a lot of those people.
Yeah.
There wasn't, not everybody had each other's Facebook and Messenger and were texting back and forth in some cases.
Or
like
podcasts.
That would have been, that would have been
ICQ
impossibly
numbers.
Expensive in like 1999. Like you'd run up your phone bill trying to talk to people in Australia and New Zealand constantly, that kind of thing. So it's like certainly the community thing has shifted a little bit, but that's again why, like, speaking to basically the comment I made in Luke's video was, I think your proposed format is great for another event.
Yep.
Like we should always be focusing on at least 2 events a year where you have an event that's a kind of more open construction. You're going to play with different people. It's going to be a little bit like less of a site-based tournament. And then you have nationals, which is site-based. Like I have no problem. This should be a both and situation, not an either or, but like what you consider to be the most prestigious, that's always going to be like a kind of personal or cultural thing. But the culture, for lack of a better term, that we have grown up with in the last literally 30 years of playing Laser Force is what the goal is you play at a site on a weekly basis and you try to build the best team from that site, because there is a prestige and an honor that's associated with your site as a whole doing well, not just you as an individual player.
Correct. Yeah.
Although you as an individual player doing well is also kind of cool.
Yeah, of course.
But like those accolades will come if you play well. Like people will recognize it over time. Like, and even like people who've been on like quote unquote bad teams, it's been obvious that it's like, those are still good players. Like as much as like Luke was talking about how disappointed he was with Loveland in 2019. Like, I think there were still a good number of people there who were just like, okay, like obviously Luke and Josiah and Caleb and those guys, like they're good players. Just there are a couple of things that haven't been put together with this site yet, but we think that they're going to get there. But they clearly have the talent to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you've been on some low ranked teams, like people recognize like, okay, that dude can ball. Like that's obviously a good player.
Yeah.
Yeah. We benefited from Slaughtermelon working for us in 2017. And he was still very, very young at that point, very young in his playing career, but played pretty well. I loved playing with him at that point. So it's a slam, man. Yeah. And we don't have to say, because you can see it on our faces, or on 2 out of 3 of our faces, and I'll let you guess which 2. I think it's a good thing that we are now discussing this a little more in depthly as a community, and I think that we are on the precipice of figuring out a solution for the next little while. Because like you said, like we these things aren't like solidified. Like we can change this stuff, right?
Like but my whole thing is like, having listened to all that, I'm like, it basically seems that you guys have come around to the system that we actually currently have in place, with the caveat that maybe we just remove the kind of the expectation that has grown up around, like, if you're traveling in between continents, that those things are going to be a little bit looser. Like we do come up with a hierarchy for that, to say that no, site first,
still site,
then region, and then like it'll be broader after that. Like that's fine. The only reason that we had that in place in the 10 years or 15 years that we've been doing this is that in the early years, you were not getting anywhere near the number of people across you were now.
5 was a big turnout.
Yeah. So, right. Like we're past that point. So we can just say, okay, we re-examine that. But other than that, like the eligibility rules with that kind of like California subclause of California players need to stick together rather than farm out to Mercs. Like
California
that
players
seems
together
like kind
strong.
of a pretty good system. Like I don't think that we actually really need that many tweaks. Like everything is pretty much working as intended.
Yeah. I think the only other thing, and we talked about on the show, was how you now distribute the Merc pool. And I think that's the thing that needs looking at, because figuring out who you're eligible for, in my opinion, is a pretty easy thing. If you're near if you play for a site semi-regularly, that's probably the site that you're eligible for. And then for you homeless people, because really it is only California that's homeless, right? And Oakley, but they...
Truly. But literally they played in 18 in Brisbane, they played in 23 in Auckland. I think that was all the playing that they did. At all, really. So, it really is just California. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, Syracuse and Detroit people, it's not the same situation.
Yeah, just because your home sucks,
it's really not.
Doesn't mean you don't have one.
you still have a site. Like it's
Yeah. So then it becomes, all right, so how do we then distribute the players that are left over? Because if you've got 2 or 3 representatives from sites, from a bunch of different sites, are you then, all right, so Auckland is sending 3 and they're gonna like pair with 3 Mercs from California? Is that an Auckland site? Is that a Merc team? Is that a Corkland?
Sacklands?
Sackland? Yeah, exactly. A Sackland site. That's I think where the conversation really needs to happen, is how do you fairly distribute, and not necessarily distribute, and I think Luke made the distinction, not distribute the Mercs to make the teams fair, but how do you have equal opportunity of Merc distribution for the teams that are going?
I think the complex thing there is that thus far we've not had an expectation that if you're a Merc, you don't have like any control over your destiny, because I think it was actually a good example that Luke used it, where it's like, theoretically there's a 50-50 chance that Caleb could end up on like a super experienced East Coast team or like a brand new overseas team from somewhere else, like playing with Europe, where all the players are way less experienced than him. It's like, if I knew like going in that there was a 50-50 chance of that happening, I don't know that I actually would go. Like, I'm like, those are two such different experiences that I can't set my expectations for until like the decision is actually made and I have no control over my destiny. Like, that strikes me as that could be a little problematic, because like it's in the interest, like this is why professional sports leagues do drafts and you give like preference to the lower seeded teams, right? You want to try to build parity over time. And players not having control over their destiny is like, that sucks in some ways, but that's how we distribute fairness. But they're being compensated for what they do. We're paying to go play. So it's not really equivalent situations. Like, yes, we want to promote fairness as much as possible. We also need to remember that this is people, basically, this is the entertainment that they are paying for as part of their just yearly amenities kind of budget that goes into things. That's very different from, I have signed up for this league because I'm being compensated in turn, and therefore like I'm going to surrender certain kind of control that I have over certain things.
And that's fair. I had the initial viewpoint was, well, if you choose not to go, well then so be it. Don't come. And we have 5 teams that go to internationals, and so be it. Like, the people that do go, cool, you're going to get to play so much laser tag. But are people okay with that? Don't know.
Some people would be, some people wouldn't. Like I said, I don't know, but that, like, I could see myself being like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, so I think there has been kind of a tendency when Mercs have been distributed that it usually is, again, kind of like a conversation among different teams. And I think there is oftentimes some kind of effort made to be like, well, look, we want to have like promising players maybe play with a slightly higher caliber team, even though it's like, that's actually the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. But we want to like promote, like give this team a fair chance, because it's like they're otherwise really good. If they have to take a like kind of a shitty Merc and the lower seeded team gets the good merc, it's not going to help that bad team very much, but that could really hurt that good team. Whereas if you gave them like the better merc, now they're kind of in the competition pool with some of the other teams. Like that's right. It depends on what your priorities are. And I think that is a conversation worth having, but part of what we need to be prepared for in that conversation is that different people are going to prioritize different things. Like, I don't know there's going to be broad agreement on how that should be handled, but that's why you have the conversation.
Yeah, that's right. And then in the instance of like the sites that are currently still being represented,
sites that still have sites,
sites that are still sites, which in this case is
assholes.
What? Brisbane, Auckland,
Detroit, Syracuse,
St. George, Syracuse,
Loveland, and I'm sorry, Cedar City, you're not a site. Cedar City and St. George are one site. Like, if that is against what the committee has decided, that's fine. But I'm like, no, Cedar City does not have an arena. They don't have a site.
Yeah,
Utah is one unit currently.
Yeah. Until they do, I agree.
Yeah. Once Cedar City has completed their arena renovations and their arena isn't a fucking death trap, then we can have a discussion about how that split needs to happen. But it's 6,
right?
But until then,
that's 6 sites, and of those 6 sites, I think Brisbane have the numbers to send at least one full team to a Nats. Correct. I think Loveland have the numbers to send at least one full team to a Nats. Absolutely. And then I don't know about the other ones.
Syracuse.
Well, right, assuming that we're talking about Syracuse, like Syracuse specifically, Syracuse will have. Yeah, Syracuse will have 2 teams. Yeah. Like I can basically guarantee that.
And actually, technically, Auckland do as well. We've got enough numbers where we could send a team to a Nats, maybe 2, maybe. Right. But that's kind of the point, right? Is like, you want to try and push for these sites to have full site representation. I forgot what my point was. That's a real shame. It's going to be awesome.
Are you sure it was going to be awesome? Or
yeah.
Are you just building yourself?
Because we were talking. Shush, shut up, shush.
Well, you named all the sites except Detroit, so obviously you had some kind of thought about Detroit being a problem in this whole.
Dan jumped in with the sites, but at the moment, Detroit don't have the numbers to probably put a full team in, let alone 2.
Early days, but
they're in a slump, which is fine. And I would say that Utah are kind of there at the moment as well, although I don't really know what the situation there is at the moment.
If you get Cedar City and St. George together, I have no doubt that they can put together 6 people to go to Syracuse next year.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous if they couldn't find 6 players among how many people they have between those quote unquote 2 sites.
So then if you start sending the full teams from those sites of players who can afford to go, or are in a position where they can go, oftentimes you don't necessarily always get the 6 best players from that site.
True.
But it means that you would hope that there's parity between, let's say, like a 80% strength Auckland team goes and a 85% strength Utah team goes. Sweet, you're going to probably get parity from those 2. But what you don't want to have happen is like, all right, well, we're only gonna have 5 go from here because we're gonna leave Steve behind because he's getting old and his knees don't work anymore, and try and pick up, the younger me, which is obviously Slaughtermelon. But you see my point, right? Like,
I'm trying to think who should be more or less insulted by that statement.
No one. That's a win for everyone.
Who should feel better about that? Like who is that more of a compliment or insult for?
You know what? It's a double compliment. It doesn't need to be. It's not derogatory. Win-win. What are you talking about?
Win-win.
I take exception to you. You're lucky it's your birthday. I tell you what. I had to punch you in the dick so hard. But yeah, I don't know. It's such a complex thing, and every year you get some people that are on the fence, and they're going to get pushed off that fence either way. And either it's I could go this year, but that team of 6 fucking insane players is going, and they're all on the same team. I'll go spend my money elsewhere. Or actually, that team is probably not the strongest they could have sent, and I think that our team is probably going to be better. Cool, I'll go, and then you'll see when you get there. But I don't know. It's tough, man. If it was all cheaper to do, I don't think it'd be an issue. But as you say, it's the thing.
No, because we just do it more often.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that's again why it's like we should be aiming for 2 events a year. One that is, the site-based competition for nationals, internationals, whatever you want to call it, and then another tournament that is something else.
Whoever.
Maybe it's open construction, maybe it's draft, maybe it's random draw, maybe it's duos, maybe it's triple threat. Like, but something that's a little bit different. And like, if you can go to both those events in a year, like I honestly think that the way we've been doing it the last few years, where we have some of those formats that are being mixed in, makes it like really fun. Like, it was really fun doing random draw in Syracuse this year, and then still having like something resembling a site-based competition. Like, I mean, our team was definitely a mishmash, but it was like a Western. It was like a Western-ish US team, but in any case, like, I got to play with people who I wouldn't otherwise play with, just because we didn't have a lot of California people that were going. But having like the random draw and then like a more serious site-based comp, like, it's really fun. That's a good thing to do. And if you throw in another mega member night here or there, I almost feel like I do get to play sometimes, but it's not the same as playing every week, and I fucking miss it, man.
God, it's not. Last year and the year before, in the lead ups, I guess more the year before in the lead ups, where it was like every 2 or 3 months we were doing Omega members as a lead up to Loveland Nats. Like, that felt really good. That was like, but at the same time, it's like, the fact that in order for us to be able to do stuff like that, it either involves, a plane flight, or a really long fucking drive, like, and the time and money involved.
Literally, like, thousands of dollars a year are bookmarked for like Laser Force related expenses in my budget.
Yeah, which is partially why I'm not coming to Nats in 2026, because we just book flights to Japan, baby.
You're a quitter, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
So I'm going to be able to speak Japanese for about 3/4 of my trip, and then boom, paywall. It's going to be sick. Yeah.
Yep.
Can't wait.
So all this as a very long extended way of saying, fuck you, Detroit. Get your shit together and start playing on a weekly basis.
Sick burn.
I guess that is what we came around to. Sorry, Detroit. I didn't think that's where we were going, but apparently.
Shout out to, I think, Detroit-based Fractured Fox, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. And also shout out to Rhea, because she hooked me up with. She did a back in, what was it, 2021, I think, the old cap exchange. Are we moving here? No, last time I heard you were moving to New Zealand. Aren't you coming to Auckland? You're moving here, aren't you? Stu, we got to play Spa Park and it was so good. This golf's so good. Oh my God, so good.
All right, save it for your next podcast.
I very, so not last week, but the week before, because obviously we had to cancel the show kind of last-ish minute, which was a shame.
It was fine
because my ass hurt. It's okay. Yeah. I'm better now.
Yeah. I'm glad.
It's fine. You obviously got to play disc golf. I got to play pinball. It was fine.
Well, no, so I didn't that week, but I very quickly tried to organize the recap pod for the Dick Gold Memorial Cup 2025 competition, which we might have to do on another off week next time we have one. So Stu, Hoodie, just keep a date open and we'll do a thing. It'll be good. It's like this, but not about dumb Laser Force. We'll cover this stupid thing up, and put a big.
That's fine. Just let us know, and I'm sure DK and I can find something else to do on a Friday night.
Nah, I prefer you boys. I like talking with you.
No, it's fine. We'll be on the podcast, but it'll just be me doing this the entire time.
When's it my turn to talk? 9-hole run in Rosedale in 3 weeks. Yeah. Are you coming over? Have your people talk to my people.
Your people are her people, are your people are her people.
That's right. That sounded racist when you said it.
It really did.
It was demonstrated for me within 20 minutes of setting foot in the country that all Kiwis know each other. So.
Oh, hey, Dolly, by the way, I don't know if you know him, but I'm quite good friends with King Capisi now, so basically famous. Yeah, so that podcast will come up at some point. I mean, we could probably, I had a feeling this was going to be the case. We had another topic that we were going to talk about today, but we'll shove that for another day, I reckon. All
right. Well, now that we finished our intro, let's get to our real topic for the day.
Man, you really don't want to go celebrate your birthday.
Oh, anything other than
that. Have you got cake? Please tell me you have cake.
Let's see. I have cookies. That's close enough to cake.
It's basically the same thing. Stacking. Yeah. What you do is you take your cookies. You take 3 cookies, right? And you go.
I like
cookie.
It already.
you go cookie, peanut butter, chocolate sauce, cookie, margarine, jam. Cookie, boom, cake. That's how you make cake.
I was with you to the jam. You get that jam the fuck out of here. Jam
I thought you were gonna say the margarine. I'm so gross.
I'm sorry.
I'll take extra fat. That's fine.
I'm sorry, Steve-O. How many edibles have you had to have had before that sounds good?
What are you talking about? That's how you make cake. Are you a baker? No, you don't know.
Well, I'm certainly not baked enough to eat what you just described. So,
if I was there, DK, I would make you some special cookies.
Thanks. Well, it won't be like that tragedy in 3 acts that I sent you about how I accidentally melted a bunch of edibles in my car.
At this point, you're taking shavings and just eating those.
Like, this one will be a gamble.
Let me show you how to make cake. You do, that's not cake. I liked how the both of you made the same joke at the same time. It's beautiful. All right. Hey, it was a good discussion today. It was a little bit heated. We came in angry, all 3 of us. I think we've mellowed out. If anyone
just redirected our anger toward Detroit, apparently.
Yeah. If anyone needs homework for the week, which I think you all do, go and watch V for Vendetta. Just for a refresher. And
that's how we got banned from Twitch.
I mean, it is a great movie, though. It is a great movie.
There's a lot of parallels at the moment. It's wild.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Anywho. Yeah, so I hope you have an excellent birthday. Hey, chat, if you can, please spam chat with a bunch of happy birthdays for our brother DK. We love you, bro. I hope I hope it's a good another turn around the sun for you this year. Yeah, it'd be nice. I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would like a butthole drama for a year, please.
About to say, you get to do this. You get to do this rotation with only 1 butthole instead of 2. It's pretty. You're already winning. Like
just like 2 out of 3 years. That's too many. Like I deserve a little bit of a break.
Well, I mean, you could go for a 3rd one and become a flute. Yeah, it'd be great. We could play you like a recorder. Actually, what we can play Happy Birthday, because that's one of the best songs you learn to play on a recorder. It'd be great.
I tried to think of what you're using for the reed.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here. I
hate my life so much right now.
Oh, brilliant. Right, we're gonna let DK go enjoy the rest of his birthday. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you and all of the input that you have. Have a butt ton of happy birthdays.
Oh,
That's exactly how many I've had.
Yeah.
This show has just gone totally off the rails here at the end, and it's fantastic.
So serious for like a good hour. Well, let's say 30 minutes, and then boom, yeah, buttholes. Yeah, we should be back next week. I think we've. I mean, we'll let you know if we're gonna miss a week or two, and we'll let you know if we end up doing the disc golf episode of the Resupply podcast. But for this week, I've been Guy Next Door.
I've been an older DK.
And I've been Van.
Always remember to blow all your candles out, DK. We will see you. There's no where I was going. We will see you next week. Ka kite ano. We love you all.